Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the DC Collectibles DC animated movie of Justice League War. We're having a look at the new figure, Cyborg. When Spot had a look at the other figures from the line of Justice League War, you guys commented down below and told me that there was also a Cyborg. And I didn't believe you. I thought you guys were a bunch of liars. Okay, that's not maybe the case. But you guys did tell me that there was a Cyborg available, and sure enough, I ended up finding this guy at my local comic book store. The interesting thing about the figure here is on the back of the package, it lists the figure on the back, though the other figures that when we were looking at the other 5, I should say, Cyborg was not listed, so he probably was a last-minute addition to this wave. It says based on the DC Comics DC Universe original animated movie by Warner Brothers Home Entertainment. The other figures in this set were Flash, Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and Shazam. What I am going to do is take a break, get this opened up, and we're going to have a better look at Cyborg, and we're also going to add him to the rest of the league that were in this set as well. So there's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Very much like the other League members, Cyborg doesn't come with any sort of display stand. Essentially what you see is what you get. He doesn't even come with any sort of accessories, which is somewhat ironic as well, because in the movie, Cyborg had a lot going on with him, and though this figure is very impressive, kind of wish he also had some sort of attachments, something you could have also added to him. It's funny actually how Cyborg has become so popular in recent years. Like for me myself, like I grew up with the Superpowers line and Cyborg back in the day. That it's really neat to see a character like this come back and come back in a big way. The figure itself is very impressive. It doesn't have a lot of paint. It's weird. Like the paint that they put on it is not a shiny paint. It's almost very misleading. It looks matte. It looks like a matte colored paint. But when you hold it in hand, it doesn't feel like it's actually a painted surface. It's taken the armor, the suit that he has, it's simplified it a little bit more, but the coloring is very vibrant. It's not vibrant, but like the blue on the sides is very vibrant, but also it's very clean. It's a very clean looking figure. From the figures that we've looked at, Cyborg could be probably one of the cleanest looking figures from a paint standpoint. His suit is basically comprised mostly of silver, this, once again, matte silver, but then it's accented with the red. There's a little bit of red down by his belt, there's red up by his torso area, upper chest area, and then he's got some red on the sides of his shoulders. Face is very nice on Cyborg. There's a close-up look on his face. I guess he hasn't completely skipped over quality issues. He's got just a little bit of paint right by the side of his face. It's not too bad, though. But like the look on his face is pretty good. I think I probably would still take like the DC Collectibles New 52 Cyborg. It's probably my favorite Cyborg figure. But this one really is, as a more simplified version of the character, he has a really good look to him. For a scale comparison, and I find the problem with this figure is he doesn't have articulation in the ankles. So getting him to stand, you kind of have to adjust the legs forward to get him to properly stand. I guess the same thing really was the same with the other League members, but for some reason it's a little harder to get Cyborg to stand than it was with the other League members. So just kind of lean the legs forward slightly to get him to properly stand. For comparison, let's bring in some of the other characters that we've looked at from War. There is Shazam. Let's adjust his head. There's Shazam. I still think looks like Ben Browder from Farscape. There is Shazam, which he will not apparently want to stand for me either. I wish they had ankle articulation, which is something I mentioned a couple of times. There is Hal Jordan. Oh, and see, now they're all falling. Let's get them. I wish they could have come with display stands. I mean, he has the peg hole on the underside of his foot. It's there. Like, why are you teasing us by not giving us display stands? I think ultimately I'm just going to give them display stands. He really has a tough time standing. Let's get Shazam standing up here. It seems like they're all going to give me problems now that I really actually want to put them all together. There's Flash. Little crooked-eyed Flash. With still his bent wing. Little lightning bolt. There's Wonder Woman. Still the gem of this set. If you had to get one figure from this set, I would say get Wonder Woman. That's the one you would want to get. And Superman. Superman and Wonder Woman probably are my favorites from this set. There's the whole league right there. It's a good contrast with all the figures, because all the figures look so different from one another from sculpts. Superman and Shazam pretty much share this exact same body, but like all the other figures, and I guess really for that matter, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and Flash share the same body, but they're still very different from one another. They're not using the exact same body like a DC Universe figure would. And we'll just take these guys out of the way here. All that, I want to get them to stand together, and all that, I'm just going to take them away anyways. Move Superman. And actually, you know what? There's Superman and Cyborg. Move him away too. For your articulation, Cyborg, his head does rotate. It's limited though. I don't know really what's obstructing his head as much as it is, but it really is hard to move his head. Maybe it's just a little bit tight. We'll just loosen a bit. There we go. A little bit better than it was. Head does move up and down, left and right. When it comes to his shoulders are on the ball hinge joint, so they move out. He does have shoulder pads, but the shoulder pads are placed in an area that really doesn't obstruct, it doesn't hinder his arm movement. So his arm still moves out, still moves forward and back. He does have a bend at the elbow, which also allows the arm to rotate. No articulation in the hand. None whatsoever. No articulation in the waist, and then the leg goes forward and back out. Now, whereas the shoulder wasn't an issue for his arm to move out, his leg, on the other hand, has these flaps. The flaps are rubber. They shouldn't really pose a problem, but I find just moving his leg, maybe it's not really so much the flap, it's maybe just the sculpt of the leg, but it's problematic to move the leg. Legs do move out fairly easy. He does have a bend at the knee, which is actually the bend right underneath his knee armor plate rather than above. And like I said, there's no articulation in the ankle. Really like Cyborg. I wish he had come with any sort of arm accessory. I mean, he's even got like an open hand, giving you the idea that he really should have come with something, but he doesn't. Also, display stand for this line. I don't know why. Like, DC Collectibles doesn't really support display stands very often. DC Direct, when they were originally DC Direct, seemed to give you a lot of display stands for characters, and it seems lately they just really have cut back. The costs have gone up, so like Cyborg here is probably about a $10 difference figure versus what we would have gotten from like DC Direct. But we have less things. We have no accessories, no display stands, which is really a true shame. I love the look of this character. Like he came out really, really well. He's very clean looking. Paint, other than just a little smudge on the side of his face there, is very good as well. He probably could be one of my favorites from the set. I think I might still go with Wonder Woman and Superman as my all-time faves, but Cyborg probably will be right after that. Cyborg, I'm going to give you, sir, an 8.5. Today's Toy Spot, we were finishing, I guess, technically, our looks at the DC Universe Justice League War, the animated movie. We're having a look today at Cyborg. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more videos heading your way. Thanks for watching, as you always do. I'll see you next time.